Good afternoon, Harm here. I'm just with Anita, and we're taking a little walk around Lafarge Park in Coquitlam.
Am I in the frame?
You are in the frame.
Okay.
You got framed.
What about now?
No.
Okay. All right.
There you are.
We're walking. We decided to walk and talk.
Yes. We'll be more flowing.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to keep the flow going.
That's
and
right.
keep the blood flowing and keep a lot of things flowing, because I think we're in big trouble. Because the more I talk to you, do I feel panic? Maybe a little bit, but we want to talk to people about some things.
Yes, and we should be concerned because this incoming digital ID and central bank digital currency is going to be the thing that brings down a lot of people because they're not going to be prepared.
But here's the thing. I talk to normal people, right? Like, I'm friends with normal people. Normal people don't know what you're talking about, right? The CBDC,
yes,
digital currency, or why it's a problem.
Yeah, and
so,
they get central bank digital currency mixed up with cryptocurrency, and they're far different.
Right.
The biggest difference is that cryptocurrency is decentralized, and central bank digital currency is centralized. And in fact, our biggest enemy, the ultimate goal of the ruling elite, is to bring in the central ledger. Everything of value, your house deed, all your personal finances will be all in a central ledger that they control. And you know the old adage, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yes, it does. But how are they gonna get us there? They're gonna get us there and we won't even know it. Right? So they're gonna like slip it in slowly, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah.
It'll be insidious. We won't see it coming.
But already, like, okay, we just went to Costco, right? Yeah. And then in order to even buy food there, you can't use cash to buy food. So that's how they slip it in slow.
Yeah.
And people won't even know.
Yeah.
Right? And of course we've both gone on about cash, but this is bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like, what is this?
So it's interesting to see how they're rolling out this digital ID and central bank digital currency, because they're doing a lot like they did with the new normal at the beginning of the pandemic. And you can see different geographic areas in different parts of the world adopt it or not adopt it. And that's, for that, we can learn a lot from that. A good example of that is in Nigeria. Now, Africans are actually a lot more familiar with cryptocurrency. So when the government issued a central bank digital currency there's only 0.5% adoption. So then the government's all frustrated. They're like, okay, well, then we're going to limit your weekly withdrawals. And that worked for a bit, and then they went the next step and they shredded all the cash. So, you know, a lot of people want to keep cash alive, and I totally understand, right? I use cash exclusively, and I always have.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is they'll shred the cash. And the demise of cash is inevitable, and that's not such a bad thing, because the currency, the paper money, is actually a tool of our economic enslavement. For every dollar printed and created out of thin air is an instant debt associated to it. So it's a self-perpetuating debt that we can never get out of. And thus, we are debt slaves.
Yeah, but think about it for regular people. This is the way we live. We have a job, we get our paycheck, we go to the bank, we either take out cash or we debit or use credit. That's how we survive.
Yeah.
So now what?
Then you got to pay our taxes.
You pay your tax upon tax upon tax.
Yeah.
But this is how we are accustomed to being.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about this?
Well, the only solution to this is to build a parallel system, and that needs to happen. And the good thing about all of this, though, is we can build a parallel system that is so lucrative that people will just jump onto it. See, the system that's going right now, the social credit system, and the central bank digital currency, is basically a programmable currency, so you won't be able to save money. Yeah. And they'll keep on taxing you, and they'll just take their money right out of your account. When you go 1 kilometer over the speed limit, your car will rat you out, and they'll take the money right out of your account. And this is not sustainable. Yeah. If you look at we got another carbon tax coming in on July 1st.
Yeah.
Another 17 cents. They're going to keep on doing this.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that figure they can kind of dip their toe in the pool of digital ID and kind of live with the system or whatever else. But no, once you take on that digital ID, you're doomed. You'll be obligated to take inoculations whenever they want of whatever they want, and there'll be no backing out of it.
Yes, I think that's true. It'll be like China, right? It'll be a bit like China, and it'll also be like how you are socially as a citizen makes an impact on how you can spend. correct?
Yes, the
So
social
like,
credit system.
so yeah, so like if someone like me, if we speak out against the government or we say anything, then it's like, oh, Anita, you can't buy that bottle of wine. You can't buy that pizza.
Yeah.
You can't buy, because my social credit will be poor. I think that people don't realize that. So that's going to make normal people keep their mouth shut, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And then to add another level to it, it'll be carbon tax. So you won't be able to buy a steak if you had steak earlier that week.
Yeah.
So it's another system of control too. So they're throwing everything at this.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Even the credit card systems are already working on adopting a carbon credit system. And it's so ridiculous.
Piss off with that carbon shit. They fly around in the private jets, right?
Yeah.
And then they make me feel guilty for my carbon.
Yeah.
You need carbon and the planet, for God's sake.
We're carbon-based life forms.
The plants won't grow, right? So we just want regular people to be aware that this will slowly come. It'll come before you know it. Just like with the COVID bullshit, right? They just scared you and put it upon you, and you were under their control. Well, don't let it happen again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So how do we combat this? Because the banks and all that are giving you surveys saying, oh, what do you think of it? So should we answer?
Well, when they're throwing a survey like that, they like to pretend that they're actually legitimately concerned about what we think. And as we know from history, they always had these things well on the play. And they're just putting out this to be courteous and due process and all that.
What do we? They don't care what we think. No. We could say we could oppose it vehemently, and they'll still be like, "Oh, screw you." Yeah. Right.
So one of the coolest things about this whole struggle, this is the best part about it, is we actually have the free market forces on our side, and what's coming in right now is what I believe to be disruptive technology. The same kind of disruptive technology that allowed Uber, Netflix, Airbnb.
Oh yeah.
So these.
Wait a minute.
These technological changes, completely decimated their respective industries within a few years. These huge, large, hierarchical organizations were completely decimated by this disruptive technology, and I believe the same disruptive technology will, the free market forces will bring it into play. And a good example of this is in the Middle East. There's different countries that have implemented more of cryptos, private cryptos, and they've flourished economically. So the other countries are like, hey, we want some of that too. And it's kind of a race. And the countries that adopt cryptocurrencies and stuff like that will flourish economically. And the other people already see this. In El Salvador, they've already adopted Bitcoin as a national currency there.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a big change, right?
Well, see, for us regular people, we don't really know how it works. Like, I'm not in the crypto world. I'm not, when someone says Bitcoin, I'm like, whatever. I'm not into it. I don't know.
Yes.
We don't know how this is all going to roll out. I just know this. They want to get control of the money. Yeah. And they want to control us. And that's clear.
And they're threatened by Bitcoin. And an interesting thing about Bitcoin is even the Security and Exchange Commission, the regulatory body of crypto, has admitted that Bitcoin is actually a commodity. That's huge. Okay. Because your numbers that represent your bank account on the screen aren't actually a commodity. Cash isn't a commodity. Bitcoin is. Now
okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that's an interesting thing to wrap your mind around, right? Yeah. Because people are like, how can numbers on a screen have value? Like, how is that,
Yeah. Well, yeah. But it's going to take so long to create a parallel society, because I've said to you before, people go to work, get their paycheck, get a mortgage through a bank, but you're thinking home ownership and stuff like that. All this is in peril.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So what we need to create, and it's on the way of being developed right now, is first a decentralized internet, which I feel is the logical progression of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you follow technology where it's gone so far, first you had the home computer. Yeah. And then from there, what's the logical progression? Connecting all the computers. And that's Web 1, travel blogs and catalogs, that sort of thing. Yeah. Now we have Web 2, which is the interactive experience that we have with Facebook and all that, posting videos and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Well, the next logical progression of technology is the decentralized internet. Decentralized, they call it Web 3. Oh. When all this fraud comes out, and the fraud of the past 3 years, people are going to demand a real solution.
Right. Yeah.
Like a real solution, not this vote in or schmuck and do whatever he's going to do, right?
But these things take time. So what do you think? What do you want to see in the next, let's say, 2 years?
Well,
we're not going to get there in 2 years.
Well, the interesting thing where we are right now is exponential technological growth. And it grows in such leaps and bounds. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And especially if there's a real need. You know, Julian Assange from WikiLeaks famously said that when all this fraud comes out, 98% of Washington will fall. And I believe that. I truly believe that. And I believe it's going to happen in Ottawa.
I hope so.
Every part of the government is complicit in this silly virus thing, you know?
Yeah. And now if it's not one thing, it's another, right? Like it's your health, it's your children, it's your money, it's everything, it's you.
Yeah.
That's what they want, right?
Right now, I would suggest learning as much as you can about this new financial system. There's actually literally more opportunity now than there's ever been before. It's crazy. There's actually an exponential increase
just to learn to be aware. Right? And to not play ball. What would you say about that? Like, you think?
So one of the best solutions though is to, like, first off is to understand how to use crypto, how to get onto Web3 and little tasks like that. And the cool thing is nowadays online there's such great educational tools online. That, you know, you just study this stuff for like a little bit every day. You know, I like the old saying. 5 miles is going to take a while, by inch by inch it'll be a cinch. Yeah, true though.
Put that on a t-shirt. Well, look at my t-shirt. It says, what does it say? I'm not arguing.
I'm simply explaining why I'm right.
Exactly. And you know what? Earlier we walked by this little kid. He had the same t-shirt on. That's why I was going to stop. But, well, yeah, I mean, here's the start. So that's where we just want people to be aware that it'll just come slow. That's what I think. It'll just come at you slow, and before you realize, you'll be hit upside the head, and you will be controlled.
Yeah, exactly. There won't be like any defined threat that's obvious, like the vax mandates that led to the trucker convoy. That's clear as day, and everybody's seen it, and everybody mobilized on that. But the way they're going to roll in this CBDC, or more specifically the centralized ledger that everything is going to be on, they're just going to slide it in an insidious kind of way, and one day you'll wake up and you'll be like, whoa. You'll be like,
whoa, I can't buy anything. I can't buy a train ticket to leave. That's what already happens in China to reporters that speak out or say the truth. They already got your number, so don't let them have. I don't know. Just be aware. I think awareness is the first thing.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, there's a lot of resistance to technology, and if you look in the past conflicts, because we are in a conflict, we're in a war right now. You look in the past, never has a war been won by one side regressing in technology, refusing to adopt the incoming technology. That's never happened, and it won't happen if you think about it logically. But that's all right, because the decentralized finance, decentralized internet, all that, because safeguards liberties and freedoms. And financial freedom is complicit with personal freedom. You can't really be personally free unless you have your sound money and financial freedom.
That's right.
And when I say financial freedom, I don't mean necessarily being rich, but just being able to have a sound money that's not controlled by anybody, and it actually increases in value. So that's one of the cool things about crypto is the network effect. The more people that use it, the increases in value. Instead of currency that we have, decreases in value. Since the implementation of the dollar has lost 99% of its value. It should be going the other way.
They just burn it or print it or whatever. But you know what we're going to do? We should do more videos in the future explaining the process. Where do you start? What do you look at? What website do you look at? How do we get going? So we should do some future videos. Like make a series on maybe having financial independence and freedom. Otherwise, I'll starve to death in the next right? I'm doomed.
And we won't be able to dodge a 15-minute city or digital ID. And we have to for the safety of our freedom.
Stay tuned for more videos so that we can help each other out and explain it. But thank you for watching this one. Bye.
Have a good weekend.